it's Pete here again and welcome to my vlog for today. Now, what do you think of when I say the name Tim Holtz? Now, we know he's a phenomenal designer, we know he makes some fantastic products, and he has a certain style, and we tend to think of inks and sprays and we think of stamps and we think of very mixed media, very altered art, stuff like that. Well, there's going to be none of that today. Okay, it's all going to be about beautiful dyes and pure white card. Let's get on with the make. So, here's the dyes that we're going to use today. I'll put them on this piece of card so you can see them better. This is Funky Flowers. It's actually, well, I like to think of it as Funky Flowers 1 because there are another 2 sets coming out in subsequent months, so keep your eye open for those. Gorgeous set. The next one is these stacked decal dies. So each one is a rectangle, but you can see it's been given this lovely detailed decal edge. Hope you can pick that up there. Now, I'm going to use one of these for the card, and let's take some. I've pre-cut some of these just to save a bit of time. So I'm going to take those off. We'll pop those to one side. Now, of course, Mother's Day is on the horizon, so I've pre-printed this piece of white card, and I'm going to crop that using my decal rectangle. And I shall be using for today this lovely limited edition machine with its accompanying glitter plates. So I'll make my sandwich and run it through. There we are, all done, ready to go. Now, next up, I'm just going to take my white card and place my dies face down. We do recommend, particularly with more detailed dies, that you actually have the dies face up. So what you can do, if it makes it any easier, is you can place that down and grip the 2 plates firmly, like so, prior to switching them over. Make sure you do grip them so that the dies don't come away from the plates, and through the machine. You don't need to run them through twice. I sometimes do for peace of mind, particularly with the more detailed dies. As you can see, there was nothing to worry about because they've cut beautifully. There. So that's all ready to go. Now I'll put my machine to one side. And there we have it. Now, I'm just using white, as I said. But obviously if I stick white onto white, it doesn't really show up that much. So what I'm relying on is the play of light and shade. And to make the most of that, I'm going to add some dimension using my wonderful paper sculpting kit. But first, I'm going to bring in the rest of those die cuts, the ones that I cut earlier. So I have those there, all ready to go. Right, now let's open up the paper sculpting kit, and it's got everything you need. If you're making dimensional flowers, or if you just want to add some texture to a project, then this is a wonderful kit. I'm just going to use this one. It's got a double-end stylus. There's also a creasing tool, and there's a little quilling tool if that's what you're into, but it's very, very useful for other things as well. Of course, there's our scissors and tweezers, and there are 2 foam mats. Now, the first one here is for adding any detail. Say you want to make creases in leaves, so you want to create the veins. This one's perfect. This one slightly thicker. This will give you your dimension. So it's for putting paper down. Well, I won't talk anymore. I'll show you exactly what it's for in a second. Now, before I do that, I'm just going to take my tweezers and I'm going to take this rather wonderful. It looks like a fish skeleton, but I can assure you it's not. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on there. And this goes onto the leaf. Now, if you do these in 2 shades of green, you can imagine how stunning that looks. So let's just make sure that's in place. And then secondly, these 2 dies, they also come together. And I'm just going to apply a little glue to that, just dot it where you need it. Always helps if you've got a really fine applicator, as I have. And we'll put that in place there and just put it to one side. Oops. Maybe a little more glue. No, that'll be fine once it dries up. So we'll put that to one side. Now I'm going to add some dimension to my die cuts. First of all. So I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to press heavily into this. With some 3D flowers that is advisable, because what it does as well as creating dimension, is it allows you to break down the fibers of the card, and in doing so it makes it soft and malleable, and it gives you, in many instances, a more naturalistic looking flower. Now with this one I'm starting on the outside and I'm going quite gentle, because if I go too heavy I'm going to get some unnatural creases in here. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So I start off slowly, and as I move along this will cup in the center. So we've got that lovely dimension, and as you can see, because I started off gently, we haven't got any of those nasty creases, which I'm trying to avoid. This one I'm going to concentrate more on the individual petals. And then back to the center and just roll it round like that. Now remember our leaves, that lovely double leaf. I'm going very gentle, very gently indeed, rubbing that back in 2, and it will eventually form. So that's not lying flat now. It's actually got some nice, pretty nice dimension. And concentrate on this end. You'll see why in a minute. Next up, we'll take this one. It will curl up like that. I don't really want that to happen, but what it's done is the center will now be lying flat, and these leaves on the outside will be standing proud. It will all make sense when I put this together. So my tweezers, and again working this time on the individual leaves. Next up, same again. So side to side this time, side to side, and then top to bottom. When I flatten it out with my fingers, you can see that it doesn't sit flat. Now, let's take my leaf, the one that I was having trouble with earlier. There we are. And again, just working quite gently. You can see, because I didn't glue that down properly, bad Pete, it's actually come away. It doesn't make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. It's still going to look great. Similar with this one, I'm going to actually just cap it through there, going between those white bits there, and that's formed just a little bit of dimensional need, so that when that's stuck down you can see it sits proud of the surface. And last but not least, these 2 odd looking things, they're actually the flower centers. So straight into the center, roll it round. Same with that one. And then finally we'll work a bit heavier to cup those in the center like so. And that's it. I know it doesn't look like much, but it should be all ready to go. Now, put the sculpting kit out of the way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to place this onto, you can see that lovely decal edge there. I'm going to place it onto the face of the card, but I'm going to use 3D foam pads so that it stands proud of that. But let's start off by placing some of these lovely die cuts down. So there's the first one. These are not, ironically, these are not the best conditions for seeing how this works, because we're kind of flooded with light here so that you can see everything that's going on. But the ideal conditions is that if you've got light source coming from one side, like an open window, so if it's sitting on somebody's fireplace or mantelpiece, it's going to look fantastic. So there's the next one. Now, remember we were talking about that much needed dimension? We'll see here when we place this down, you see how that's standing proud, and with the multi-layered die cut as well, it's giving it a bit extra as well. So next up, we're just gluing at the bottom, just one area. I'm going to place that up about there. There. Now, 2 more to go. Or when I say 2 more, I mean 2 more leaves at the base here. I'll put that one there. And next up, a little bit of PVA just down the center there. And we'll bring that up. So it's coming from the side, just crossing over slightly. Now, again, we want to get a bit of extra dimension when we put the flowers on. So I'm going to use some 3D foam pads. But before I do that, let's get this leaf detail in here. Actually, I can pull some of that away. I don't need the whole thing. And I'm going to apply PVA to the bottom 2 leaves, because I want it coming off the edge. You can see I've got that, and this just coming off the edge, and that will give the design that's something a little bit extra. Now, this time I'm going to place one of these foam pads to the rear. Doesn't matter that you can see it, because this is going to be covered, as you'll see in a moment. So that is going to be there. Look at the way the light and shadow plays with that. I love that. I absolutely adore it. So, finally, our 2 flowers. I'll put some glue just in the center there, and we'll push that with the edge of the tweezers before attaching that one nicely. All done. Let the glue do its job. Now the first one I'm going to apply just using a little bit of PVA. So I'm going to attach the PVA to the base flowers before applying that there. You can see it's starting, really is starting to come together now. Last but not least, I'm going to take another 3D foam pad. Actually, I'll use one of these thicker ones and apply it to the back of the flower. There we are. So this is going to overlap the second flower, just up to the corner there. Now, almost done. All it remains for me to do is attach this using 3D foam pads. Normally, I'd use about 6 or 7, but today we're going with the bare minimum. Because as I always say, you don't want to sit and watch me peeling the back off 3D foam pads. And last but not least, There we have it. Let's get that nice and central. Happy Mother's Day. Simple, straightforward, classic design. Absolutely gorgeous. So there we have it. Thanks again for watching. And if you want any other Mother's Day inspiration, head across to sizzix.co.uk where our webpage is live. That's our Mother's Day webpage. Thank you very much for watching. See you again soon. Bye.